All right, guys, here we are with our seam sealer. I don't know, debauchery here. I don't know how well it shows up even, guys. The stuff is supposed to be super slow and flow out, and it just didn't flow out real well, and it was not super slow, so I didn't have a chance to get this all finished out nice, smooth, and fine. What I've been doing is going in and I'm sanding it basically, and that's a good thing about using the two component products is they'll set up hard enough you can actually sand them, and yeah, they'll still be seam sealer and stay somewhat flexible. So what I'm going to do is just keep sanding on this thing until I get all of the little rough stuff smoothed up enough that I can lay another layer up on top of it and not have to tool it, work it around as much to get it to feel good. I mean, I don't know that it even shows up on camera, but like back up in here, there's a couple of little gaps and stuff where it didn't go, and I didn't get it pushed all the way up on the inside or outside of that drip rail. So I'm gonna get that all straightened up. Once we have that straightened up, I think there's a spot where the door's rubbing it would be a fender, but it's a cowl on this on the other side of the car. And yeah, I think we're pretty close to just doing all our prep work. All right, so here we are just digging this stuff out, and copyrighted music playing in the background, so yeah, you got that. And I am sitting here with a plastic spreader, 180 grit sandpaper, have a piece of 320 also stuck on there, so yeah, you got that way of doing things. I use this to cut the seam sealer down, and then use the 320 to get the deep scratches out. And we're just sitting here scrubbing along, trying to, yeah. All I'm doing is taking the rough stuff out, putting scratches in it, so whatever we put on top of this will stick, and we'll have a better chance at laying it in there smooth. All right. Well, I don't see how that doesn't touch down there. I'm trying to grab the door. Man, that is super close. You can see right here, we definitely have some rubbing going on, but it is so tight. I mean, it's rubbing all the way down that door. It just hasn't, this is the only spot it caught hard enough to chip the paint. So what I've got is a little curved spoon and a good old wooden stir stick. And we're gonna set up here and we're gonna lightly massage the edge of this door and hopefully not crack the paint on it, because yeah, it's been painted a bunch of times. Get this thing where it'll step out a little bit and fit. Yeah, the front edge. There you go. Let's see what we can do here. Oh man, that is fitting crazy tight. Yeah, so here's what I've come up with is a way to uniformly kind of open this gap up a little bit. I really think it was probably everything was set great originally, but I think this car's been painted multiple times, so we have this extra buildup in here where nobody ever sands, and we're gonna take some of that excess out, try to give us a little bit of room here when we open and close these doors so that we don't chip the paint anymore ever again. So That's kind of what's going to work. I tried bending this out and it was just trying to make a bunch of waves in the door, and I really don't want to do that. I don't want to bend the hinges, and man, you start trying to move these and there's no telling what kind of level of stripped outness we're going to have on the screws. So this is seems like a right thing to do, and it's pretty easy too. I'm just going to cut it out of this gap, and then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to sand it right off of the corner here. And try not to scrape and scratch this too far back in it, but like you can see as we cut through the red, there's the yellow there, oh boy, and then there's a bunch of primer, and there's another red paint job underneath all that primer. So we're gonna eliminate some of this material off here and hope that fixes all of our problems. There you go. Why not just close the door with the stir stick in it? That gives us a good gap everywhere. Maybe that's what the guy just needs to leave. All right, we got more cracks in our paint. So one right here. Lord have mercy. More right here. Nice, huh? Plenty of paint, plenty of body color here, guys. If you need some, let me know. All right. Yeah, here's another crack right in our area of operation. Wow. I think there's one more bad spot even up here. Yeah, it's got a little bubble poking out. All right, so you can see that little spot right there. Hopefully. You can see that little spot there? All right, last spot I'm fixing. Working on. Rephrase, working on. We're not fixing anything. Must be good. It's fantastic. Yeah, I don't mind using U-POL products. They're pretty good. You know, your local O'Reilly's, this is what they carry in my area for fillers and stuff. Look at that. Looks like a perfectly formed cow pie in there. And it's new, which is the coolest thing, because it's going to be really easy to spread since it's brand new. $28 after tax for a quart. You know, you might be able to find something on the Amazon cheaper, but it wouldn't be from a manufacturer you've heard of before. I did look before I went in and bought this because, yeah, you always got to check Amazon, right? So I bring everything right out where I'm going to be working to mix and do all that. That way the stuff is not already setting up on my travel path out here. And boy, I might have put way too much hardener in this. We'll see. We don't have a big area to spread it on. It's going to kind of get gooped on here, and then we'll let it set up good, and we'll just use a grinder to knock it down flat. That way we don't end up with body filler like as thick as what they've got it on here. I don't know. We're just trying to fix it, right? Or work on it. Fix the current problems that it's got. That's what we'll call it. So, got her mixed pretty close now. Just want all those different colors to be uniform. No stripes, no streaks, no light, no dark. Okay. And it's not quite a million degrees. It's pretty warm in Oklahoma today though. Alright, so we'll do something like that. Tight wipe, scrape it in them scratches. Always preach that. I usually would tell you to put some epoxy primer down before you did this too. And that would be a good move. We didn't get her done on this one though, boys. Didn't get her done. You might wonder why I'm fixing this. And I think we know it was cracked. Yep, real life. Real life, real repairs. What you got to do sometimes to just get it done, man. I hate it, but sometimes there's no choice. There we go. Now we're looking better. All right, there's that one. Let's cruise on down here. Hey, yeah. Hit this one right here. Neither one of these were as bad as that one up there. That one needed a little. This one back here, he needs a little bit too. Help save some sandpaper by using old coarse paper just to sand the sticky stuff off the top of your filler. Even if I'm going to grind it, if I do this, it'll keep from clogging my grinder disc up. It's the little things. that make the big difference, guys. All right. Are you ready? Here you go. Grinder disc, 36 grit, fiberglass reinforced filler. Just hold it flat. Small grinder now, just to hit the low area. Alright, got a few air pockets here. We want to make sure that we take care of that before we apply any more filler. I will take 80 grit on my DA and I'll sand back around the edge too to eliminate where I have a really rough feather edge there. Just seems like it doesn't show up as bad later on in your repair process. All right, so every day's a school day, right? Did you know the air pressure coming out of this is blowing at such a high rate of speed, you can actually blow the glass particles out of the filler and create pinholes with a blowgun? Check it out, it is really true. You can actually blow some of those little glass particles and stuff, even in your body filler itself, out and create like a micro pinhole problem. So you got to be careful. Here, we're just blowing off this old fiberglass stuff, and I'm getting ready to mix up a little load of some Bondo or Rage Ultra body filler and wipe over this area. And I will wipe over my feather edge with it all the way around. We got to blend this into that paint, and yeah, so that's where we're at. Well, come out, have a cup of coffee this morning, looking at things, and yeah, we got a lot accomplished yesterday. Everything's just finished with 80 grit on our body work though, so we're gonna go ahead and take that all up to a 180 grit scratch, and then check this side over again, just make sure we're fixing everything that we want to fix this round, and we'll cover this dude up with some plastic and hit this with a little primer this morning so it can be drying. Got just a little bit more sanding to finish up on the body work back here, but we're in pretty good shape. All right, we just threw some high build primer in our gun. We got these little areas masked off on here. I just like to do that to keep overspray from going everywhere. I did put some tape inside of this jam to keep from overspraying everything in there, because like this primer's a pretty light gray. It's almost white. And we're gonna go super light on here spraying this on, just because of all those layers, all the layers. I had this thing set up to spray that carpet adhesive, so we got a little tweak to do, but not bad. You notice I'm not priming out to the edge of the tape. We don't want to make a hard line there. And where this one I kind of curled some tape back, this is just taped down hard, so we want to be careful there. I did back tape that door jamb, so no overspray in there. And you see I gave plenty of room around these. I mean, technically I could have just masked out this whole quarter, but all I want to prime is right in these areas. So we're going to give it a little light coat and let it flash good, because like I said, all them layers, they're going to be affected by the solvent in this primer. So we're just going to give it to it real easy. Try to build this up a little thickness, and then we can get it wetter. Yeah, it's always interesting to see what your body work looks like too. When you got 170 layers of work there to try to work around. Yeah, and it is super hot out here. So this is real time in between first and second coat. And I'm just pulling the trigger back all the way and letting her eat, boys. Right in here, same deal. Just nice, easy, light coats. Looks like all our feather edges may work out. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna sit out here. I'm gonna give this stuff probably 5 to 7 minutes in between this coat and the next one, because that solvent builds up, and man, once it starts lifting and eating the edges up of those previous refinished layers, you got to fight it the rest of the way through. So want to give it plenty of time. You can kind of see here in this one, maybe it'll show up in the video, the way those rings look. That's when you know you're flirting with the disaster. And then this, I sprayed it on there pretty wet, that last coat, so I'm gonna have to just walk away. All right, guys, here we are back. Our primer is fully dry, and oh, Mother Nature took all of our masking off for us in some high winds last night. You can see the four-wheeler trailer there. She's got some branches on it. Took our favorite old mulberry tree here that the squirrels love to play in, and just folded and snapped a bunch of branches out of it. Got more stuff back in here that's broke, and we got a whole bunch of stuff right here. This is yeah, that'll be fun to do. Have to get her done before we have to mow next time, but whatever, that's not what you guys are here for. We're back on the red 48 Ford this morning, and since that primer is all fully set up, I did come out and I hand blocked all this stuff with 320 grit. This area still has a slight low spot, and I did sand through into that yellow color, so I never did block this back here. It was late last night when I even did any of it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prep the rest of these panels that are going to be sprayed. So I've sanded big areas in them with 320, and today we're going to switch up and we're going to work our way up towards 800 grit. And I'm not going to hand sand it. I'm going to DA sand it, because this car's not perfect and hand sanding takes quite a bit more time. We're going to use the interface pad. So this is super soft, Velcro on both sides, so you can Velcro it onto your DA, and then your sandpaper will Velcro directly onto it. This one has these holes in it because it's set up for vacuum paper. We're not vacuuming anything. We're working out in our carport here, so it'll be fine. But we'll take and start with 500, and then we'll move up to 800 and try to get this stuff with a super fine scratch in it, so nothing will show up when it's been refinished. So I've worked this side pretty hard because I had these cracks I wanted to fix. I sanded around on the deck lid and got it close, but I have not touched this side yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to prep the door or I'm going to stop on the quarter over here. I mean, really, once we get started masking and stuff, it's not too much more work to go ahead and add that door in there. It does have a big old chip right there, and then we got this little place here. I would like to repair that low spot all by itself, and then bring the paint on the A-pillars down and either go to that line or burn it in on this side, something. The other side's going to be a trick. It's dusty. That's what it takes. So that's about 40 minutes with 500 on the DA, and that's half of the car kind of sanded. Got all the edges still to do, and then yeah, we'll catch this half. We got to 320 it, and then we'll 320 then 500 over here, and man, we'll be somebody then. I'm still debating whether to paint that whole door. I don't know. Well, all right, guys, here we go. We got us a little bit of priming done over here. A little bit of block sanding. Went ahead and pulled them tail lights out. You can see there, the last old boy didn't pull them out. So, yeah, got them coming out of there, and then we're down to this last quarter doing the edge sanding. I went ahead while I had body filler right here and primer in the gun. I filled them chips and yeah, did that. Always got rock chips on in front of the wheel wells. And it's getting kind of hot in the old shop, and I mean, you can't get much better conditions than this. It's open on two ends, insulated roof, and breeze blowing, but I think the heat index is like 109 today. So yeah, I'm gonna finish my little bit of edge sanding I've got to do here, and then I think I'm going to take the rest of the day off with pay, as Rat Rod Bob would say. All right, guys, I'm feeling pretty good about this this car. It's pretty close to everything being fixed, sanded, and ready to paint up. I'm debating right now whether or not to cover that back glass with some plastic and some tape and back this car out and just power wash it all off and let it sit and dry. You know, it's Saturday afternoon, and yeah, I work most days, but I'm trying to just focus on getting everything moved on the weekends and get stuff ready so that I'm good to work all week on stuff. And we're closing out the video for this week's work on the 41, and it is over here. Like I said, I think I may roll it out here in an hour or so and power wash it all off good to get all the dust out of the cracks and everything. I have blown it off really good, so I mean it's pretty clean already. Just that extra bit of soapy water and stuff in the jams, it just tends to help clean things up. So if we're doing that, next video on this car will be masking it and spraying the sealer, the red, blending our color, and then hoping that it looks pretty good. I mean, I am painting everything except for two fenders, a hood, the grill, the front bumper, all that stuff, but it's kind of the principle of the matter. At this point, I don't want to paint the whole car. I just want to paint what I am. If I do end up needing to paint the whole car, well, there's not a whole lot more of it. It's just, I hate masking all that and sanding it. I would rather have it disassembled. And the car is welded together, so you can't disassemble it. So we are where we are on it. We're going to get it finished up though. Carpet got put in there and everything, so it's kind of the way it works here. I worked on that outside in the carport because it's cooler out there. Got all my sanding and everything done, move it in here to where I can paint it in a somewhat controlled environment. And then I moved the OBS truck bed. I don't know when this video will be out there, but yeah, we got some repair work to do right here on this bedside. So we got to get that done. And then we moved the 35 Chevy on out to the carport area and put him on the lift this morning. I haven't done a video on it a while, but I've been driving it a little bit. I took it to that Route 66 car show, which was really fun. The problem with the 35 is he's marking his territory, and it wasn't doing that. But I put a speedometer cable on it, and when the guy mocked this up, He did it with a different transmission, so that should not be at that sharp of an angle at all.
Yes, I get tired being alone, 'cause I miss my son, yes, I miss my wife, but the devil named music is taking my life.